All right, we're live. It is Sunday, October 26th, 2025. And man, what a week. What a week that's coming. What a week that's gone by. There's what I like about tonight's show is that it's all come together at the last minute. I had like half a show, and then all of a sudden, at the last minute, a bunch of stuff fell nicely into place. Saturday, I went to State College, Pennsylvania, to a little airport out there, which I go there on occasion, not that often. But every time I get out there, it's like a really cute little town out there in a couple hundred miles west of the Hudson, like 230 miles or something, 200, something like that. Anyway, cute little town. Like, and when I drive through places like that, it's like the last few miles you get off Interstate 80, and you got to go zigzag through all these local roads. And when I drive through towns like that, you know, they're safe, they're clean, they got the storefronts from the 1920s or whatever, and it's all redone, and everything looks nice. And all I can think of is, this is the real America. Like, I always think, like, I'm from New York. New York's not the real America. This is like the real America. And I was reminded, I don't know where it was, but somebody told me back in the 70s, I don't know that this is true, because I wasn't driving in Pennsylvania in the 70s, but I was told this is true, that there was a sign in front of like some town that said, "Welcome to like Hawley, Pennsylvania," or something like that. Like, "Welcome to Hawley, Pennsylvania. America starts here." Meaning that everything east of the Hawley, Pennsylvania was not America. So, so that's, I don't know how true that was, but that was a legend that was passed on to me, and so I pass it on to you. Believe it or not, there's still fucking pollen in the air. This fucking pollen is killing me. The last couple of days, I thought I had a fucking fever. I was like, there's not supposed to be any pollen at night, but my fucking nose would run like crazy at night. I don't, and I thought for sure I was sick, but apparently it's still fucking ragweed pollen in the fucking air. That's like absolutely torturing me. It is a torture of tortures, and I don't want to be tortured, but I guess I got to be tortured. So yeah, ragweed sucks. But there's suckier things, and we'll talk about the suckier things and how you can possibly fix them, how you can ameliorate these things. But a lot of it has to do with you changing your selective attention. You have to change your focus. You have to look at things differently, because as comforting as you think it is that you got it all down and you see how it really, you see how it's the lay of the land, and you understand what's going on. You really don't. You have to try to look at it from other people's perspectives, because if you don't, you're going to miss an enormous amount. Virgil Doc, Purple Heart, welcome to the show, sir. Also, I got a feeling tonight, I got some notifications from StreamYards that they've done this and that and some other thing, and they improved everything. Right now, I'm looking at myself on video, and everything looks a lot smoother and faster. And the scrolling of the media that I have underneath here looks a lot smoother and faster. So I'm assuming they did something with the software. So fingers crossed it doesn't fucking freeze up. But if it does, we will deal with it. We have strategies for dealing with problems that we overcome. Rabbi Judas Chai. What's up? It's been a while. It has indeed, Rabbi. It's good to see you. I got some great Rabbi video. Man, are you here at the perfect time. Your timing, sir, is impeccable. Your timing is impeccable. Should I start with that? No, I'm not going to start with that. I'm not going to start with that. We'll save that for later. I got so much stuff. I got so much stuff. Should I even fucking label again? What a fucking maroon. What a maroon I am. Okay, here's like a surprise. We're going to have to jump around like we normally do, but here's a surprise. Donald Trump pardons Binance co-founder Changpeng Zhao, that's the guy on the right, the chinky looking dude. He's the dude that was, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, that Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, which had no headquarters, and he had offices everywhere, but the headquarters was nowhere. And he stayed in Dubai almost the entire time he was a CEO, which Dubai has no extradition treaties with anyone. So that's what makes me think he's a spook. But Trump actually pardoned him. This is the guy he was involved with FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried, but he only went to prison for 4 months, and he got to keep all of his money, which was 33 billion. That's billion with a B. And this, as far as I know, is the only person Trump has pardoned who is not Jewish or black. And that's pretty fucking amazing. That is, to me, pretty fucking amazing. And there's more with the criminality and Bitcoin and all sorts of fun stuff, all sorts of fun things. Other criminals are running free, and we don't know who they are or why they do what they do. This caught my eye. That statue that looks like there's actually a statue there in front of those people. That's like little slivers of metal. But the Satoshi statue in Lugano, Switzerland, has been replaced with a new one because someone damaged it. Apparently, somebody went by and smashed all those metal. I think it's like slivers or plates of metal made to look like some guy in a hoodie leaning over a laptop. It ended up, who would smash the Satoshi statue? Who would do that? Some crazy gold bug? Would it be Peter Schiff? Would it be Jerome Powell? Jay Powell, the central banker of central bankers? Would he sneak up there in the middle of the night and do some nefarious deed to the statue? But and this is a statue that's literally like, you look at it, it's at high height. And it's not particularly tall. It should be taller, but the fact that in the safest country in God's green earth, to attack a statue, kind of interesting story there. They don't know who did it. They're never going to find out who did it. But yeah, why would you do that? If all the things they say about, unless you think somebody lost a fortune on Bitcoin, maybe, but they would usually crash out on video. They would crash out and then they would do like a I hate Bitcoin video or something like that, or Bitcoin's a scam. Which there's dudes saying that, and we have part of the reason why I titled tonight's stream Roger and Me in homage to the fat guy, I can't remember his name. It was the fat guy who followed. He got famous by he had like a cardboard cutout of Roger, somebody who was like the CEO of fucking GM or something like that. And he said, oh, they closed down this auto plant in Flint, Michigan. And I can't remember the fatso's name. He was a big deal for a while. Big fatso dude. And he just carried this cardboard cutout with him everywhere and pretended they were friends. And he would pretend to interview him in front of all these closed businesses in Flint, Michigan. Can't remember the guy's name. He made a bunch of money. I think he made like $50 million or so. And then pretended to be a communist and then vanished. Probably died of a fucking heart attack. The dude was super fat. But Judith Fletcher, you should know that guy's name. That guy was, he took some dude to Cuba. I don't remember. It doesn't make a fucking difference. Doesn't make a difference. There's so much that's so wrong in the world, and people get it so wrong that it's hard to keep up. But the Argentine peso hits fresh lows despite U.S. support, and it's about to get worse. So Trump sent whatever, 20 billion down there or 40 billion down there, bailed out the friends of the current Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent. He's Jewish, by the way. Bailed out Scott Bessent's rich friends who bet big on Argentina. Their bets went south, and they called up Washington, D.C., who flooded the market temporarily to push their whatever it was they had up. and then those guys bailed. They get their bailout money from the U.S. taxpayer, and they get out of it. And now, of course, Argentina even worse shape than it was previously, and it's not going to get better. Though Argentina, whatever, that guy Milei, I don't know what the fuck he's doing or not doing, but he doesn't seem to be turning things around quite as successfully as like Nayib Bukele did in El Salvador. Speaking of turnaround stories, here's a turnaround story that needs to be told. Here's something that needs to be turned around. 6,511% surge in Lebanon's prices since 2019. That's a lot of fucking inflation, kids. That is a lot of inflation. Food prices rose 27,488%. Clothing and footwear, 15,000%. Health costs, 5,000%. And I'm, lowballing here. Transportation, 10,000%. Restaurants and hotels, 34,000%. Furniture and home equipment, another 12,000%. And yet they won't embrace Bitcoin. They won't transact in Bitcoin. Why won't they do that? You're just going to have to wait till you're forced until nothing fucking works. Right now, America's building some super gigantic facility over there to help the Jews fucking exploit the Middle East. But that's the parasites at the top of every country are never, ever, ever going to give up control. They're just not going to do it. They're not going to do it. And if you try and fight them, they're going to kill you and throw you in prison. So you have to exit their fucking system entirely because, as you see, their system really, really sucks for the people at the bottom. The people that run Lebanon, the bankers and the fucking elites, they're doing fine. I assure you, they're doing fine. They're not complaining about the price of hotels or food or shoes or anything like that. It's Joe Average, Mohammed six-pack. Well, Mohammed doesn't have. They're not allowed to drink. Mohammed six-pack of fruit juice. Whatever they fucking drink over there. Turkish coffee. And he's the guy that's getting fucked. You know what I mean? His fucking the paper promises are fucking worthless, and still people won't make that change. The difficulty of making that fucking leap from what you know to what's going to work is too great for most people. To be honest, I think it's going to have to be forced on them. It's going to have to be forced on them. Although that may take a while. Following up on last week's theory that a bunch of people were floating around social media that the United States is going to reprice the gold in Fort Knox from the $47 an ounce it's currently priced at to its current market price, $4,000 an ounce, which would wipe out about half that $37 trillion deficit. Here's a slightly different take on it. This is from, I think, Wall Street Journal. A special treasury bond, a government promise, backed by the precious metal, would strike a blow for sound money. This was just today, October 26th. So they're throwing out a couple of different ideas. This idea comes up again and again and again. You're seeing it here, you're seeing it there. First, it's some internet kooks. Now the Wall Street Journal's talking about it. So I do suspect that if you see a couple, three, some CNBC people or whatever, some think tank bros start tossing this idea around in that form or slightly different form, you can be certain that it's likely to happen. That it is likely to happen because a lot of people they telegraph a lot of stuff. They telegraph many, many, many things. What the fuck? Damn it! I'm pissed at it. I'm so angry at myself that I'm not even going to be that angry. What am I going to go with? And the other thing is, here's America playing global policeman. Here's the dude, the pig butcher dude from last week.
One of Cambodia's richest men is now at the heart of a global crypto scandal. 37-year-old Chen Shi, founder of Prince Holding Group, is wanted by U.S. authorities for running what they call one of the largest financial frauds in history. over 14 billion US dollars in Bitcoin seized, thousands of victims, and a scam that US prosecutors say made 30 million US dollars a day at its peak. Chen didn't act alone. He allegedly built a massive scheme fueled by forced labor, fake crypto investments, and a web of shell companies. So the victims weren't just investors, they were also the trafficked workers forced to run the scam. Here's how it worked. Migrants were lured to Cambodia, then locked inside guarded compounds. They were then forced to target strangers online in what is known as pig butchering scams, elaborate cons designed to bleed victims dry, slowly. Meanwhile, Chen and his circle lived large, using proceeds to buy jets, yachts, luxury villas, rare watches, even a Picasso painting. Prince Group isn't small. It dominates Cambodia's real estate, banking, and consumer sectors, with over 2 billion US dollars in local projects, including a high-end mall in Phnom Penh. But Chen isn't just rich, he's connected. He holds Cambodian and British citizenship and served as an advisor to both former and current Cambodian prime ministers. Now those ties are under scrutiny. The US and the UK have slapped sanctions on him, his companies, and over 100 affiliated businesses. That includes 3 Singaporeans and 17 Singapore-linked entities. In London, his assets are frozen, including a $14 million mansion and other luxury properties. So far, Chen hasn't been arrested, and he denies all allegations. Cambodia says Chen's businesses followed the law and reiterated that the government doesn't accuse Prince Holding Group or Chen of wrongdoing. But they've said they're open to cooperating, only if solid evidence is provided.
Yeah, so what solid evidence provided, that is to say, give us a cut of what you're taking from this guy. So that's the pig butchering dude. That's how these things run. There's tons of scams, and scammers contacted me recently. People know I have these devices, these Ledger hardware wallet devices. I have more than one. About a year and a half ago, one of the third-party affiliates of Ledger, their computer database got hacked, and the Ledger didn't get hacked, and everybody's Bitcoin was safe, but they got a lot of customer information. And look what I got! I got a letter that I will now read to you. James Manos, I blanked out my address. United States. Reminder: transaction check will soon become a mandatory part of Ledger Live. Dear James Manos, at Ledger, protecting your digital assets is our highest priority. As part of our ongoing commitment to your security and alignment with global cryptocurrency regulations. What the fuck is that? We are introducing Transaction Check, a new security feature designed to provide greater confidence in the safety of your transactions. Transaction Check analyzes each transaction before it's signed, adding an extra layer of protection on top of our industry-leading clear signing technology. This upgrade reflects our continued efforts to help you stay ahead of evolving threats and regulatory requirements. Transaction Check will become a mandatory part. This is highlighted. In bold type. Will become a mandatory part of the Ledger Live experience for the following devices. Ledger Nano S Plus, that's the device I just showed you. Ledger Nano S, blah, blah, lists all the different devices. To avoid any disruption to your Ledger Live access, please scan the QR code. Don't do that. Don't ever scan QR codes with your mobile device and follow the instructions on the website to enable Transaction Check by October 31st, 2025. Note, while you may already have received notification and enable Transaction Check, completely blah, blah, blah. Okay, so even though they put, like the right address in France, all this stuff where the company is, this is a scam letter. Ultimately, what it wants you to do is plug your device in and put in your 12-word seed phrase to check it to make sure it's secure. in which case you're just sending it to the thieves. When you log off, they're going to take another blank device. They take one of these that's a blank, and they're going to put in your 12-word seed phrase, and they're going to get to your account, and they're going to steal all your Bitcoin. And this shit is nonstop. And this is a very official looking letter. It looks, it looks legit. And if you had, I've already been scammed, so it's not going to happen to me again. But yeah, this is, I don't know how many people are going to get with this, but for the price of 54 cents or whatever it costs to send a letter, they can make millions. This shit is nonstop. It's nonstop. It's non-fucking stop. Because money is what fucking makes the world go around. Speaking of which, I don't know if you're aware of this, but apparently coming soon to a neighborhood near you, the EBT apocalypse.
What the fuck you mean? Who ain't getting that goddamn food stamps to goddamn November? Cause I'm getting my goddamn. I'm gonna tell you just like this on Jesus Lamar mother Christ. I will be at mother Walmart with my steel toes on and my mother helmet, and I dare a bitch try to stop me from walking out that mother store with my grocery.
And then they doing this around the same time as Thanksgiving, which means there are going to be millions of Americans who might not even have food on the table this Thanksgiving.
They are now threatening to cut off food stamps right before Thanksgiving, which means millions of people, including the highest percentage of people with disabilities, will not receive food supplemented income next month.
Not only will the government be running out of money for food stamps come November 1st, the people who is eligible to get food stamps gonna have stricter requirements to even apply for it, to even still receive it. That homeless people are gonna have to get jobs, low income people are gonna have to get jobs, and they're gonna have to work at least 80 hours a month to even still qualify to get a little bit of assistance.
Starting November 1st, the work requirements will be expanded to those aged 55 to 64.
Do you remember last week when I said you're going to fight a Dominican guy for the last fucking packet of ramen noodles in Walmart? I say shit like that, and because I'm trying to like use my imagination and say bizarre shit, but I just let my mind run, and I stumble across the shit. I didn't realize they were going to pull it. I did not know they were going to do this. This is all over social media, like all over, tons and tons of stuff like this. And I don't know if you noticed, there were a lot of basketball people in that video. And there's some basketball people in this video too.
All I know is if they stop my food stamps, me and my man will be at the grocery store walking out with two big ass carts. And ain't bet nobody better do nothing because my man coming hard behind me, and it only take him one time to punch your ass.
My man come up hard behind me, and he gonna punch your ass. You may find out, man, there are acts of violence much more extreme than getting punched. But yeah, the EBT apocalypse for Thanksgiving, it's kind of designed to rile people up, I would think. It's really designed to rile people up, and how, like I said, how I stumble across this shit. I just mentioned it last week. And now all the, like, literally I'm fucking flooded with this shit on I don't know if you've seen it, but flooding Instagram, and it's probably all over TikTok too. Here's one more. Well, this one is Caucasian based.
If you are naive enough to think that the pause to SNAP benefits on November 1st isn't going to affect you because you don't receive food stamps, I want you to hear this. About 1 in 8 Americans receive SNAP benefits. In fact, in Oklahoma, where I live, that's 1 in 6 people. So about 600,000 people in my state alone, Oklahoma, receive SNAP benefits. About 1 in 4 children in the U.S. receive SNAP benefits. But you're not one of those people, so you don't care, but hang with me. When those benefits go away, just about $9 billion in grocery spending vanishes. So you've got to be thinking about not just the grocery stores being able to stay open and pay their employees, but you have to think about the entire supply chain, trucks on the road, people who provide food to these grocery stores. $9 billion. Every dollar spent in SNAP benefits adds about $1.50 to $1.80 to the economy. So cutting those benefits isn't saving that dollar, it's taking away that $1.50 to your local economy. But you don't receive SNAP benefits, you don't work for a grocery store, you don't drive a truck, you don't give a shit. But when all of those things happen, the only way to combat that is to drastically increase the price of groceries. Grocery prices are already up over 3% in 2025 alone, which is almost an entire percentage higher than the average increase in grocery prices over the last 20 years. I thought they were supposed to go down day one though. So even if SNAP benefits only pause for 1 month, which by the way would be detrimental to all the people I mentioned before that you don't give a shit about, it will cost the economy roughly $13 to $14 billion in profit. And you can expect your grocery prices in just that 1 month to go up at least 1%. And states will stand to lose about $300 to $500 million in sales tax revenue. So even if you do not receive SNAP benefits, you never have, you never will, you do not want these to be paused on November 1st.
Yeah, so TikTok chick. So a TikTok chickie, excuse me, ma'am, excuse me, it's this white lady. How does taking $1 from my paycheck come back to me as $1.50? I'm not real clear on that. For these people that have to work 80 hours a month, I work like 72 hours a week. So you won't find me crying for them that they have to work in a month what I have to work in a week. But she says for every dollar in SNAP benefits, $1.50 comes back. How does that work? Are you with the pig butchering dude? Are you with the fucking the ledger people to fucking send us $1, we'll send you back $1.50? How the fuck does that work? They make these outrageous claims. Now, of course, the whole idea is to get the food stamp people, the EBT people, all fucking riled up so that they riot and they go into Walmart and there's some civil unrest. But I don't know that that's going to happen. It might happen in a few isolated cases, but yeah, they're definitely looking to trigger this shit. They're definitely, they're pushing it. They're pushing this as hard as they can. I think mostly because, like the neo-Nazis versus the Hebrew Israelites that never really took off because the neo-Nazis, of course, feds. But the Hebrew Israelites, I think it's too cold for them to be outside now. It's like 45 degrees, 50, 60 degrees and is the high in the afternoon, and that is a bit too chill, a bit too chill. Oh, now look! Oh, finally, the fucking phone froze up. A bit too chill for our melanin enhanced friends. So what I got to do now, because I can't, what can I do? I think I can still get this one to go off. So who's running all this? Here's who I think is running all this.
The upper 20% of the CIA, they do not believe in democracy. They do not believe in the U.S. Constitution. They believe in the CIA and its global juggernaut staying in control and perpetuating itself. That's all they believe in. And some of them, and I've worked for some, they're basically psychotic. They're narcissists. And so Pompeo got in there, and whether he was coerced into doing that by Gina Haspel, who is a shadow government deep stater from the word go. She's the one that destroyed the torture tapes, videotapes.
Yeah, Gina Haspel is a Jew. Okay. So, yeah, there's the real CIA, and then there's the 80% of patriotic dorks who think they're saving the world, but they're really making it safe for fucking Epstein people and opium fucking lords and various different unsavory types. In the meantime, the one thing that's going to save people, which is a new economic system, so we don't end up like fucking Lebanon or Iran or Iran, you have the alternative bros shitting all over it. And here's the second aspect of Roger and me, the Roger being Roger Ver, who I will talk about in a minute. He's going to be mentioned by Tucker Carlson. This is a rather longish clip of Tucker Carlson, but I want you to pay attention to Tucker Carlson. As smart as these guys think they are, they always give the game away frequently. What they're thinking of saying 2 to 3, 5 minutes from now pops out of their head just at random, and it's not random. If you know the whole story, and I'm going to give you maybe not the whole story, but more of the whole story. What Tucker Carlson's about to say is interesting. He was just recently at Charlie Kirk Memorial, not Memorial, but a Turning Point USA thing. So, like I said, this is a somewhat longer. Still fucking. It's 10:30. It's not supposed to be any fucking pollen in the fucking air. I'm coughing. Tucker Carlson for 3 minutes, and I got a bunch of stuff to say about it on the other end.
A lot of good things. Do you invest in Bitcoin? Do you think it's like a viable asset to invest in?
Oh man, I don't want to make more enemies. I mean, you want the real, it's my last answer, but you want the actual answer?
Yeah, sure.
And here's why. I spoke at the Bitcoin conference actually last year. I've spoken at a couple of Bitcoin conferences. I love the idea of Bitcoin because I love the idea of financial autonomy. I don't want what I buy or sell to be tracked. I don't want my money to be tracked. It's nobody's business. I pay my taxes. I've never cheated on my taxes. I've been very tempted, but I never have one time cheated on my taxes. And once the money's mine, like I can do what I want with it. And if you find me breaking the law, arrest me. But if you don't, it's none of your beeswax, as the kids say. So I love the idea of the blockchain. I knew some of the people involved in that whole thing. And I still believe in that promise, okay? Roger Ver, for example. I don't know how closely do you follow this, but like, there are people who still believe in that. But it turns out that it is not, to this point, been, I hope it will be, a way to conduct financial transactions privately at all. And that really freaks me out. I'm really afraid of a digital currency because that is totalitarian control. If you can punish people, if you can zero out their bank account and keep them from eating, you will have total obedience. Like, that's totalitarian. And I know that young people love crypto because they've been completely screwed in the job market and there are no financial opportunities for most of them. And they know they're staring down a life of, if not poverty, certainly a step down from the way they grew up, most young people. And so Bitcoin for them, crypto in general for them, is a promise of like, how can I make it in this world? Like, I would like to have a normal life. How can I do that? And crypto is a way they think that they can. And I'm praying for them. I hope that's true. But I fear that it will become like so many other things in our country, a scam of sorts, run by a coalition of the financial beneficiaries, like a few people who are getting all the winnings, and the politicians they control who use it to further their control of American society. I'm really worried about that. And so I'll just be totally blunt with you. I'm a gold buyer, and I've been vindicated big time in that. And everyone's like, oh, you're crazy, buying gold. Yeah. You know, it was good enough for the Phoenicians. It's good enough for me. And I, in general, don't get involved in anything I don't understand. I think that's a really good rule. There's some things I think I understand. It turns out I didn't understand them. But in general, I try to limit myself to things I understand. And nobody can explain to me who Satoshi was, the creator of Bitcoin, this mysterious guy who apparently died, but nobody knows who he was. You know, I grew up in D.C. primarily, in a government family, so CIA. That's my guess. Can't prove it. But, like, you're telling me to invest in something whose founder is, like, mysterious and has billions of dollars of unused Bitcoin? Like, what is that? And no one can answer the question, including some of the biggest holders of Bitcoin in the world. Do I know personally? They're like, oh, it doesn't matter. What matters to me? Right?
Man, we got a lot to unpack there. Man, do we have a lot to unpack there. I don't know who the guy is who invented this. You don't know who invented the fucking wheel. You couldn't name who invented the microwave oven. You don't know who invented the cell phone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how it works. You don't understand how the human digestive system works, but you've been eating food every fucking day of your life. Well, all these are all bullshit excuses. He goes, trust me, my dad's in the CIA, so you should stay away from this. Well, it's going to become a scam. So the CIA is scamming BlackRock. BlackRock. The CIA is scamming Wall Street. Really. They're going to and there's also now the federal government has a strategic Bitcoin reserve, which they don't tell us what's in there, but Trump via executive order created this thing. So now the CIA is scamming the entire federal government because when they rug pull, right? When they rug pull Bitcoin, and he's mixing Bitcoin and shitcoins together like this. Bitcoin and crypto, they mix it together so you can't tell one from the other. And that's the sign of someone who's either dishonest or profoundly ignorant. And Tucker Carlson is, at best, he's profoundly ignorant, and he's being dishonest. So the CIA is going to scam BlackRock, right? You know, if there was a fight between BlackRock and CIA, I guarantee you BlackRock fucking wins, right? But whatever, they're going to scam and the entire federal government with this rug pull on this imaginary fake currency. And he throws in, you know, kids can't afford a house and they can't have a life and a bunch of other stuff. But one of the first things he said was, I've never cheated on my taxes, although I've been tempted. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Like, where did that come out of? Like, that just pops out of him. He goes, well, I've never cheated on my taxes, though I've been tempted. He goes, and I know a lot of people involved, including Roger Ver. Oh, now we're going to reload this fucking thing. Okay, he says, I know a lot of people, including Roger Ver. Well, who's Roger Ver? Roger Ver was once called Bitcoin Jesus. And Roger and me, I have a history with Roger Ver. In this sense, I never met the guy. But way back when I first bought Bitcoin in 2017 for like $1,800 per Bitcoin. At one point, I had accumulated 3.18 Bitcoins. And I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I was just like, fuck the Fed, you know, fuck fiat currency. I just want some of this stuff. And so I bought what amounted to 3.18 Bitcoin. And Roger Ver was part of what was called, there was a war within Bitcoin. It was called the block size war. And this was a real fucking huge battle. So what was the block size war? The size of the blocks, each discrete block of information, the transactions, was limited, was made small on purpose by Satoshi. And there was an argument Roger Ver made that Bitcoin's supposed to be like cash. It's not supposed to take you 10 minutes to open your wallet and hand somebody a bill. You're just supposed to be able to take out your money, hand it to them, and your transaction's done. So Bitcoin's too slow. In order to speed it up, we should increase the size of the blocks from 5 megabytes to 100 megabytes. And the argument against that was that 100 megabyte blocks were too big for the average person, the average Bitcoiner, to monitor the network, to read the entire block. That the small blocks were necessary so that anybody could verify the network. Anyone could run a node and verify all the transactions. Big blocks means regular people couldn't run a node, so they wouldn't know really what was happening with Bitcoin. There was a split. Roger Ver created what was called Bitcoin Cash, and he said to everyone at the time, everyone who's holding Bitcoin, I will give you an equal amount of Bitcoin Cash. So, and I didn't even, this turns out I had 3.14 Bitcoin Cash, and I didn't even know it. So Bitcoin does this thing, goes from 1,500 to 17,000. Everyone's going crazy back in the day. And I came across something where I read, blah, 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 blah. If you owned Bitcoin before May of 2017, you got Bitcoin Cash for free. And I'm like, I said to myself, do I have that? I didn't even know. And I had to try and figure it out. And the wallet that I had my Bitcoin in was a Bitcoin only wallet. It couldn't tell the other cryptocurrencies. So what I had to do is find the Bitcoin Cash wallet, the one that was both, that worked on this fucking laptop that this phone is sitting on, right? Now I got to get another wallet, move the Bitcoin from point A to point B, and had the second wallet scan it to see if there was Bitcoin Cash on it. Turns out there was. At the time, I had a car. I owed fucking $10,000 on the car note that I bought to do Uber, and then Uber crashed on me. Like Uber kicked me out or whatever. And I'm in debt, and I had to get rid of the. I was like, I wanted to get out of debt with this fucking car note. I was like, holy shit, I've got 3.18 or 3.14, whatever the fuck it was, Bitcoin Cash, and at the time, Bitcoin Cash was like $3,400 per shitcoin. I was like, holy fuck. If I sold those 3.18, I could pay off my car note and then I wouldn't have to worry. So it's like, okay, how do I do that? I had to figure out how to do that with no one to help me. And this is where Binance comes in. I had to open a Binance account in Taiwan and send the Bitcoin Cash to Taiwan and then trade it for Bitcoin, sell it, sell it at the Taiwan exchange as Bitcoin, and then change it back into Bitcoin from cash, then send it back to New York, and then as Bitcoin, and then sell it again in New York. New York, it's all happening on the internet, and then send a check and then pay off the fucking car. I spent an entire night like 12 hours in this fucking room trying to figure out how to make that happen, and I did make it happen. I paid off the car. I was thrilled, and then 3 weeks later, the head gasket blew in the fucking car. Right after I made the last payment, boom, the head gasket blew, and I needed a new engine. But at least the car was paid off. Anyway, so that's Roger. That's Roger and me. Roger paid off my fucking piece of shit car. But Roger Ver, what does Roger Ver have to do with Tucker Carlson? Tucker Carlson interviewed him, and Roger Ver somehow fucking finessed Tucker Carlson into thinking he was the good guy in the block size wars, and he was not. He was the bad guy. Okay. What do you know about Roger Ver? Here's a recent. You can Google this. Roger Ver has received federal charges for tax evasion of $48 million in October 2025. He made a deal with the federal government to pay them about $50 million to get rid of a tax evasion charge, and the federal government would drop all charges. So that's why Tucker Carlson goes, "Hey, I've never cheated on my taxes," because he's thinking about Roger Ver as the expert he quotes on what Bitcoin really is and who's really behind Bitcoin. So the expert he's quoting on, who knows, wink, wink, that it's really the CIA, is a guy, a tax cheat, a convicted tax cheat, who just made a deal with the federal government to pay $50 million to make it all go away. This is whom Tucker Carlson quotes as his, I know the inside people and I know the people that were right there. He doesn't mention that they're federal felons, or they were federal felons up until early October. When you don't know the whole fucking story, Tucker Carlson goes, well, I like gold. It was good enough for the Phoenicians. What the fuck are you talking about, the Phoenicians? What are you, the Lebanese? The Lebanese that have 6,000% inflation. Those Phoenicians? What the fuck are you talking about? This guy's, and people think he's like a genius. And listen, his dad was in the CIA. We all know that. And the likelihood that he's in the CIA is really high because he speaks in fucking gibberish and riddles. And when you go to these dumb college kids, right? He's at a Turning Point fucking event. It's easy to bamboozle them, and no one with any knowledge base gets to push back against these guys. Because if I was up there, right? If it was me, Tucker on one fucking podium, and I was at the other podium, I'd fucking destroy him. But you can't have a 59-year-old high school dropout destroying Tucker Carlson, son of CIA, bro. You just can't have that. Like you can't. You know the whole story. If you really don't, if you lock in on one perspective, you're gonna fucking miss it. You're going to miss it. And now I have to figure out. What the fuck am I gonna do? I got two things I didn't bother naming them. Why the fuck did I not bother naming them? This is a minute long and it's got Trump's face at the thumbnail, so I'll figure it out on the other side.
Ardent founder of Binance. Can you explain why you chose to pardon him, and did it have anything to do with his involvement in your
Which one? Who is
family's?
that?
The founder of Binance. He has a involvement in your own
The
family's
recent
crypto
one, yes.
business.
I believe we're talking about the same person because I do pardon a lot of people. I don't know. He was recommended by a lot of people. A lot of people say that. Are you talking about the crypto person? A lot of people say that he wasn't guilty of anything. He served 4 months in jail, and they say that he was not guilty of anything. That what he did. Well, you don't know much about crypto. You know nothing about. You know nothing about nothing. You're fake news. But let me just tell you that he was somebody that, as I was told, I don't know him. I don't believe I've ever met him. But I've been told by a lot of support. He had a lot of support. And they said that what he did is not even a crime. It wasn't a crime. That he was persecuted by the Biden administration. And so I gave him a pardon at the request of a lot of very good people.
Oh, yeah, okay. So he's talking about CZ. He's talking about CZ. He gave the CZ pardon. And then now I got a 10-second clip of someone else. I don't know what the fuck they're saying.
Let's go. Everybody grab what you can. Y'all, they cut off the food stamps this morning. Government shut down, got folks losing it. Look at this. They done rushed the whole store. Shelves clearing out like it's the end of the world. Nobody stopping. Hey.
Okay, so that's it. The AI EBT apocalypse. So we got all this going on. All right. Yeah, so let's stay with Trump for a little bit. Because I got some Trump stuff. And I've said Trump actually looked pretty good there. His face looked good at any rate. So we're going to talk about Trump. The fact that Trump is fucking like literally amongst the walking dead. He's amongst the walking dead. This dude, I thank God I fucking learned to click like on these videos, or else I would lose them. So here's Trump just met with Putin in Alaska. I had no idea he did that. But here's a guy who sees something you don't see.
He walks like this because he's had a stroke, and his spatial awareness, balance, strength, and gait have all been affected. I'm a physical therapist with a doctorate in my field and 14 years experience treating geriatric patients, just like the president. The reason he's meandering all across that red carpet is because he lacks the spatial awareness to stay on target or on the path in a straight line. This is because I believe he's had a stroke that's affected the left side of his brain and caused weakness on the right side of his body. When one side of your body is weaker than the other, it can become difficult to walk in a straight line anymore. But aside from the physical weakness, your balance is affected as well. All of the built-in programming in your cerebellum that's been there since you were small, it gets holes poked in it by a cerebrovascular accident, or even just a series of TIAs, or transient ischemic attacks. When he went back to Walter Reed for that checkup, it was a 6-week follow-up for a stroke event that he probably had over Labor Day. A stroke on the left side of the brain would also explain why he talks nonsense so much more often nowadays, and also why when he is fatigued after long travel like you see in that video, his speech is much slower, much quieter, and much more slurred. His stroke events have not been severe enough for him not to be able to hide it for the most part. But as I tell many stroke patients who still want to smoke, it's much easier to have a stroke once you've already had one. And on top of that, being 80 years old, he's also experiencing age-related cognitive decline that any 80-year-old would experience regardless of their medical history. His plan is to stay in the White House permanently. He has no intention of reopening the government, and he has no intention of releasing anything to do with those pesky files. But the people closest to him know what kind of medical condition he's really in and how close he actually is to having the 25th Amendment invoked. I'd say he's got 5 to 7 months left with us in total. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Now that's some shit. He's saying Trump's got like 6 months to live. That's kind of interesting. Most people they're looking at Trump and Putin in Alaska. The people who love Trump, they're like, yes, he's going to save us. And the people that hate Trump are like, oh, he's going to Putin, his KGB handler, and he's taking orders or whatever. And they're making fun of him. And that guy looks at things very, very differently. And I believe that guy, I got another video by him. I believe that guy's analysis is valid analysis, right? He's looking at how he walks, one side stronger than the other, why Trump just randomly says things anymore. You know, he's not being witty, like in the video I just showed, talking about where he talks about pardoning Cheng Peng Zhao. the crypto guy. Oh, you don't know anything about crypto. You know nothing about crypto. He just randomly spits things out. It's not the Trump witticism. It's not the verbal kill shot of 2016. It's his brain fucking holes in his brain to a stroke. And if you think that guy's if you think that dude is exaggerating, watch this. This is a shorter video, a little bit shorter video. It's 1 minute, 20 seconds. And this ought to convince you that Trump may very well be looking to die in office. And whether or not this fucking EBT apocalypse kicks shit off or not, I don't know. But if it kicks off, it doesn't kick off. But if it does, you got to understand Trump probably plans on dying in office. And like I said a couple of weeks ago, the fucking elites love their cripples, man. They love their cripples. God, they love cripples so much.
The president is now using a smaller set of stairs to get on and off of Air Force One so that the public won't notice he's had a stroke. This is the usual set of stairs that he uses to get to the top door. There's way more steps on it, and it's easier to fall if you've got health issues. When someone's had a stroke, it can involve paralysis of the peroneal nerve, or more specifically, the deep branch of the common peroneal nerve, which supplies a muscle known as the tibialis anterior, which actually bends your foot up toward your head during your walking. This is known as dorsiflexion. If this nerve is paralyzed, you get what's called foot drop. This can be easily remedied with a brace called an AFO, or an ankle foot orthosis, which the president was most likely wearing right here. If you look closely at his pants, you can see the outline of the posterior portion of what looks like an AFO. When walking on flat ground and you have foot drop, it can be easy to catch your toe on the ground as you swing your leg through and cause yourself to fall. And it's even more risky to have to go up a big ass set of stairs if you've got foot drop. Another president recently made the change to the smaller set of stairs as well. That would be one Joe Biden, because his health was also failing, and the White House was lying about that for roughly 2 years. So miss me with the what about Biden takes. I'm a physical therapist with a doctorate in my fields and 14 years experience in home healthcare, treating geriatric patients just like Joe Biden and Donald Trump. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
So he's like a big anti-Trump dude, but that having been said, I think his analysis is fucking spot on. He says he's wearing some things on his lower calves to keep his foot drop from making him trip when he walks. That looks legit. Like and then the wandering and all the rest. You need to look at this from a different perspective. If Trump is fucking dead ending into his fucking second term, like literally just a dead end, that's why they're tearing apart the fucking White House for the UFC event. The UFC event that they're going to have in 2026 is probably going to be like funerary games in honor of Donald Trump. I swear to fucking God, I would not. And this was done, by the way, in ancient Rome. Particularly the Romans would do this. When a powerful man died, or the son of a powerful man died, the wealthy would have gladiators fight in honor of the life of whoever just passed away. They would call it funeral games or funerary games. I would not be shocked to find that the UFC White House event is actually will actually be funerary games. If that happens, that would be fucking wild. It would be absolutely wild. But we're going to have to wait about 6 months or so to find out if that's going to happen. And if this EBT apocalypse kicks off, nobody's going to be paying attention to anything else that's going on. Like, nobody's going to be paying attention to anything else. Although, what happened over the weekend? Bitcoin closed Friday at 11,000. Before I hit go live tonight, we pumped to like 15 and change. 1,500, a little over, I'm sorry, 1,500, 15,000. So the expectation of rate cuts and new money flooding the system has got Bitcoin pumping again at the end of the year. So as an indicator of what the week's going to bring, but what you pay attention to is going to determine whether you're over the moon with happiness about the bright future, or you're terrified that you really will have to fight some angry melanin enhanced individual over the last packet of ramen noodles, or if the truck driver even makes it to your Walmart or wherever you get your groceries. So we're going to see how that plays out. That's going to be interesting. And lastly, and this is why I swear to fucking God, if historians ever find my fucking channel and they find this video, their brains are going to melt inside their fucking heads. Your brain is going to melt inside your fucking head when you see this next video. The guy, a rabbi who was riding Cory Booker like a pack animal. Is that Shmuley Boutique? That's the guy, Rabbi Shmuley. I can't remember which rabbi it is. I think it's that. I think that's the one. If you think riding on the back of a U.S. senator was bizarre fucking behavior and, kind of indicative of what the relationship is, this next fucking video, you're going to swear it's fucking AI. I thought it was fucking AI, but it's not.
Money, money, money. But more than anything else, what I really want, what my giant nose needs just to grow more warts is Christian blood. Let me see if I can find any. Let me see, Are you guys, you Jewish children? This is not my day. This sucks. You're wearing Israeli flag? Esther, are you wearing an Israeli flag?
Oh shit, you really just saw that. You saw a rabbi dressed in a costume made out of $100 bills covered in blood with a red cup saying, "I need the blood of Christian children to grow my nose." Yeah, you really saw that. I don't know, Judith Fleischai, if you're watching this smoking a bowl, I don't know what this does to your brain when you see this, but yeah, it's fucking wild. It is wild. I gotta reload again. We're gonna reload. Okay, so yeah, that's you wonder why I put up images like this, you wonder why. Why would that be? Why would that be, James? Why would you show that? And why would you keep on your fucking in my saved fucking videos, things like this?
To stand with the Jew?
No, Glenn Beck, I will not stand with the Jew as he seeks Christian children's blood. I will not do that.
I'd love to go to Israel. I mean, how historical is that? But I just can't deal with the Alex Jones is, going to Israel to get his orders or whatever. It's just like, I would love to touch the Wailing Wall.
Yeah, I admire Roman construction also, but not in the way that you do, Alex Jones. This is the world you fucking live in. This is the world you live in. And then one last one. I gotta fucking refresh again. Damn it! Damn you! Ooh. Okay, now the next big white supremacist star, Nick Fuentes. They're going to build him up. They're building him up all over the place. We got him talking to all kinds of people, and all of these people, they're all getting played. They have no idea. They just have no idea who they're talking to. They have no idea what's going on. This popped across my fucking feed, and understand that they try to turn everything to their advantage.
So what was it like?
It was
knowing someone was there to kill you.
It was weird. Because he was a young kid. He was like 23, so he's even younger than me. And it was a terrifying story because he killed 3 people the same day, earlier in the day.
Yeah.
So I was in the middle of my show. I saw that someone was in front of the door with a gun, so I said, I'm just going to wrap my show up. When I finished the show, My producer comes up and says...
Wait, stop.
What?
So you see on the cameras, someone is there to kill you, and you're like, I should probably wrap this show up. Okay, guys, we have time for one more letter, and we're going to take a couple calls, but there's someone here to kill me, so I got to get going soon.
Well, I didn't want people to panic, and
you either have huge balls or you're severely autistic.
Maybe both. Maybe the latter. But I get off the stream. I go to my producer. He goes, "Oh, the cops are already here. It's all good." I go, "Okay." And I hear gunshots, and I just like jump on the ground because I don't know where they're coming from. And
so wait, I'm sorry. So he rings your doorbell. No one comes, so he just gives up. I guess no one's home, he thinks.
No, he's like hanging out at the house. He went around to the side door, went in the yard, and then he comes back to the front, and then the cops pull up, and he takes off running. And he runs through the backyard, hops the fence, runs into the basement.
Helmet on the entire time.
Helmet on the whole time. Runs back outside, shoots at the cops. They return fire. They shoot him in the head and kill him.
Okay, so Nick Fuente's talking about the kid who tried to kill him. With Gavin Newsom, what's his name? Gavin, not Newsom. That's the governor of California. Gavin, whatever the fuck his name is, the leader of the Proud Boys. That dude interviewing Nick Fuentes actually took a large black dildo up his ass on his fucking on that guy's stream back in the day. I can't remember what the guy's name is. Gavin, whatever the fuck. And he's like, so, hey, what's it like when people try to kill you? First question is, how the fuck did he know where you live? I mean, I showed that letter from the Ledger people. They know where I live because they hacked some fucking database in Europe, right? None of them is coming to my front door. And if they come to my front door, things will get spicy real fast. At any rate, that aside, how the fuck do they know where you live? How did he find you? How did he find you? And Nick says, well, I see someone on the cameras outside. Who's doing a show and looking outside, has video surveillance around their house? Well, Nick Fuentes does. Nick Fuentes, who has no job and no visible income, has cameras all around the house and a producer. There's someone who makes a living off of the Nick Fuentes show. And how does Nick Fuentes pay him? Supposedly, Nick Fuentes makes all his money from donations on the stream. He's like, hey, here's a letter from Fred from Tacoma who sends us $50. And he says, America first. Do you really fucking believe that narrative? That there's all these gripers and all these people just hiding in the shadows, sending money to fucking Nick Fuentes, so much so that he can afford 24/7 video coverage of his house. He said his house, he didn't say his parents' house. So how did he buy a fucking house with no job? From $50 donations on Patreon? Really? That many? Like you could go to a bank and go, well, I do a show where I talk about how much the Jews suck and everybody sends me money and give me a mortgage. And by the way, here's my employee, a producer. No, you don't ask none of those questions. None of those questions. Nope. Just why? So what's it like when someone tries to kill you? And that the police arrived in 2 fucking seconds outside that house means the local cops have been told by the fucking feds that that's some kind of high priority fucking address and that they should respond immediately. All of this is obvious to anyone with 2 living fucking brain cells, but it's not obvious to anyone on social media or anyone watching social media. So Nick Fuentes, next big thing, EBT apocalypse, Donald Trump dies in the White House, UFC, funerary games. I told you the 2020s is going to be fucking wild. And we're only halfway through it. We are only halfway through. But where we are is we're at 1 hour. We're already at an hour. And I got to fucking do the refresh thing. I thought I wouldn't have. I had such high hopes. Such high hopes So let me see. I have notes. Roger, tax sheet, made sure block size wars. The Tochi statue, yeah, blah, 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 blah. So that's everything. Nobody sends me money, and I've been doing anti-Semitism. Do I not do enough anti-Semitisms to get some donations? Matter of fact, not only can I not buy a house, I can't even get you motherfuckers to smash up the like button, which you should be doing. Everyone watching this now, and everyone who's going to watch it in the coming week, should be smashing up the like button. If you're not going to buy me a house, at least you could smash up the fucking like button. All right? Okay? Are we done with that? All right? You get what I'm saying here? Anyway, with that, ignore Tucker Carlson. His logic is shit. His quote of "I know the guy. My dad was in the CIA, and I talked to a tax cheat." Yeah, that's not the flex that you think it is. That's really not the flex that you think it is. And all the rest is pretty much a circus, largely a circus. We're not gonna, we're just gonna enjoy it as it goes by. We're just gonna enjoy it as it goes by, no matter how fucking bizarre it gets. Anyway, with that, let me say to Virgil Doc and Judas Fly Chai, or Rabbi Judas Chai, your name constantly changes, sir. You are like a chameleon, constantly in flow. Thanks for stopping by. And thanks for smashing up the like button. And I'll talk to you guys again next week.